Hey guys, I hope you are having a great day, as today the much anticipated Squad V3 update has finally been released. It was originally presented via the Squad roadmap with an original release that was almost 2 years ago. This update brings a large plethora of changes to the first person shooter, and I cannot wait to share what the update has to offer. So without further ado, let's get into it. But before we go any further, if you haven't already, consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot and means the world. You can always unsubscribe later. Also, feel free to check out my Discord, which is linked in the description below. But let's get into the video. V3 brings a whole range of changes to Squad, from a new map to amphibious warfare to a new, much anticipated faction, so subsequently there is a lot to cover. I'll cover the main components of the update plus what information I currently know of the update. I'm not an OWI partner, so I can't dive deep into the FX and graphical changes or the layer/map overhauls, so I'll do my best with what I have. Firstly, let's get the big factor out of the way. The US Marines are finally here and bring some insane vehicles to Squad, ranging from the LAV to the Hummer. First, I think we should check out the fighting kits. The Marine faction is mainly equipped with the M16A4. This comes with either an iron sight or the M150 optic that is currently seen with the current US Army faction. This rifle is available for most riflemen and AT classes, as well as squad leader, medic, and engineer kits. Along with the M16, the US Marines are also equipped with the M27 IAR, the infantry automatic rifle. This rifle has a slightly large magazine than the M16 and has an automatic fire rate, something the M16 lacks, so as a result, the kick for the M27 is substantial but controllable. The M27 can be used by only the SL and the first automatic rifleman kit. The automatic rifleman kit, as seen on the screen now, is equipped with the brand new optic, the SDO. The optic doesn't provide a lot of zoom, it's more so like a red dot, and this optic can only be found on both automatic rifleman kits, this one and the M249. The MG kit is the normal M240B machine gun, but with the brand new MGO optic. This is basically the identical twin to the current British marksman rifle optic that you can currently play in the game. So the zoom for this MG looks slightly more increased than the other optic for the M240 currently. My favourite kit for most factions is usually the marksman class, and the US Marines do not disappoint, with the faction being equipped with the M38 DMR, and it is a beautiful rifle. The optic is the same as found on the M110. As well, the rifle has very little recoil and, in my opinion, one of the easiest snipers to operate out of all the factions. A lot of people have been wanting to see the FGM Javelin for the US Marines. However, it is sad to say that OWI have not created the Javelin for the Marines. Instead, heavy anti-tank Marines will be getting the MK153 SMAW, or short for the Shoulder Launched Multi-Purpose Assault Weapon. The launcher will have 1x HE anti-armor and 1x HE dual purpose. The optic for the MK153 is minimal at best, but with each line representing 100 meters, it isn't difficult to range to a target. And if you are having trouble ranging a target, you can use the brand new MK153 spotting rifle. This tool gives you the ability to fire a round at a set distance without having to guess and possibly waste your anti-tank round at a vehicle. So to all you SLs out there, this weapon may save you from the painful times of your fellow squad mates yelling for range markers. Just to cover one last thing, US Marine engineers are no different to the vanilla US kits. They are only equipped with an iron sight M16. To all you men that love knives and spend their nights tuning into the TV show Forged in Fire, do I have a new blade for you. The US Marines are equipped with the OKC 3S bayonet. And as an added bonus, there are some new firing sounds for an array of weapons. These include the M16 and M4 variants, the AK variants, and the C7 rifle variants, to name a few.
As well, the 50 cal and the DSHK have new firing sounds. These sounds sound a lot more gritty than the current sounds that you hear in the vanilla squad game. New sound changes do not only apply for the emplacements, but for vehicles, for all factions that utilise the 50 cal and the DSHK. I think the grumble is great, making the 50 cal and the DSHK sound even more menacing than they already are. The new M16 sound does not only apply to the M16, but also M4 variants in not just the US Marines, but for the US and militia forces as well. I personally love the new M16 sound. It is a great refresher for the aging but classic M4 soundtrack. The 8K is great as well, it sounds more natural than the previous generic noises it once produced. Now onto the vehicles. The US Marines are equipped with some new vehicles that a lot of you people have been waiting for, and no, we do not get an operational aircraft carrier as a vehicle. I wish we did. For all those people that thought the US Marines weren't getting tanks, you're wrong. The main battle tank for the US Marines is the M1A1. This is the exact same tank that the Aussies get, but without the camo and Straya printed on the gun barrel. Instead, the tank resorts back to the desert camo plus the new words Absolute Death or Cath 4 as you can see now. This is great as it reflects the craziness mentality of the US Marines. The next vehicle the Marines get is the LAV-25A2, which will be the Marines' Bradley equivalent or Canadian LAV equivalent. This vehicle is like the ASLAV for the Australians or the LAV for the Canadians, and will almost certainly be attributed similar roles on the squad battlefield. However, the Marines LAV does come with an M240 external machine gun with an optic that is like the British sharpshooter scope. This is a first, as no other externally mounted machine guns have optics, so I wonder, and let me know in the comments below, whether this optic will bring success. In addition, the LAV will also become an addition for the Canadian Armed Forces, being renamed as the Coyote. The only difference between the two is the lack of the optic for the CAD M240 and a different main gun optic system. Canada will also be getting the CH-146 helicopter, which has dual C7 machine guns and a scout camera. Moving on, to much of you guys' enjoyment, the Marines do get the Humvee. All of them have 50 cals, one with the Crow system. However, one of the Humvees looks rather naked, considering its fellow brothers. The door and boot panels have been removed, making this vehicle look like an open can of tuna. So whoever hops in this beast, be prepared to be easily killed, but have a blast of a time due to how flipping quick this new lightweight open door Humvee is. Finally, the US Marines get the UH-1Y helicopter. It can hold about a squad of infantry and has iron sight MT-40Bs. It is quite a small aircraft and will probably be very agile and easier to control than its faction counterparts like the Black Hawk, so all you heli pilots out there may have a better time flying this helicopter than any other. Now we move on to the biggest feature of V3, amphibious warfare. Several maps have water components, and now with this new update, vehicles with amphibious capabilities can now utilize these aqua elements for their own success. This can be done by simply driving into an area with deep water and driving and fighting about normally. Pre-existing Russian vehicles like the BMB-2, BTRs, MTLBs and BRDMs will become amphibious vehicles. I also presume and know that pre-existing Blue 4 vehicles like the US Striker or the CAD LAV will become amphibious. This also includes the ASLAV. Editor Loyal here. After recently poring over the patch notes, my assumption is incorrect. The Striker and LAV-7 for both the US and Canada will not become amphibious, which is quite a surprise to me. They may become amphibious vehicles in the future, but we'll just have to wait and see. The Marines, they are only able to utilize two vehicles, the LAV and the brand new AAVC 7A1. This is a much anticipated Marine vehicle and it does not disappoint. While one is of a logistic variant, the other is of a support variant. This vehicle is equipped with the same machine gun turret as found on the Canadian M113A3. It is equipped with a 50 cal. Instead of a coaxial MG, the AAVC gets the full auto MK19 grenade launcher. This is insane and will terrify enemies that get too close to the Marine vehicle. You get plenty of magazines, so don't be afraid to use it. In addition to the two new types of dual-purpose assault vehicles, the Marines will be the first faction to receive motorboats. There will be two variants, one as a logistics vehicle while the other as a gunboat. The gunboat uses the normal 50 cal plus a metal shield. This will be great fun to use on winding rivers of the new map that comes in VE3. Black Coast is the brand new map that will accompany the US Marines V3. It is a map that has thin forests, large farmlands, several rural-esque villages, and military installations. In addition, there are some insane details and some insane features within the map. For instance, there was an awesome old relic fort, as well as an underground submarine pen, which will almost certainly be an objective on one of the new 11 layers that accompany Black Coast. Black Coast will be getting 2 AAS layers, 3 invasion layers, 4 RAAS layers, as well as a seed and skirmish layer. I genuinely like the map, although I get some performance issues here and there. It looks great and the detail is fantastic. Not only can you resort back to the classic land warfare, but the addition of marine capabilities is absolutely epic. Other maps will start to have mixed capabilities as well. To my knowledge, 5 of the pre-existing maps will accommodate amphibious features. These are Narva, Albasra, Scorpo, Fallujah, and Goose Bay. While there is no doubt in my mind regarding the need for marine capabilities at Goose Bay or Scorpo, I scratch my head regarding the inclusion of maps like Fallujah, which has a relatively small water system and doesn't necessarily need a marine element to make it any better than it already is. Why don't you guys let me know what you think? At the time of editing and recording this entire video, I did not have the full list of updates, changes, hotfixes and so on from OWI, so if you want to know every single little thing that OWI have added in V3, you can check out their recently released document on all the changes to the game. I'll leave a link down below. You can also check out Moydog and Friendly Nicholas channel. They will be covering this update in more detail than what you are seeing right now. I hope you guys are thrilled that this update is coming after so long, and I'll see you on the battlefield.